Greetings, NASCAR enjoyers, and welcome to the first race of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs, aka the Chase for the Cup. This is the oldest crown jewel race in NASCAR history, well, the one that's still around at least. But anyways, the 2025 Saturn 500 begins with Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe battling for the lead, and the caution just came out with Josh Berry getting taken out early. Oh, come on, we're not even a lap into the race and there's already a caution! Jeez. Lil Bow Wow comes down to pit road early. Barry had to go to the garage to get his car fixed. Anyways. The caution ends with Briscoe jumping to the lead, but Hamlin is not slowing down. As Reddick got involved with Barry, he is having issues with his car. Taco Bell gets past Larson. Yeah, that's Christopher Bell's nickname, by the way, if you haven't known already. Denny Hamlin is creeping up on Chase Briscoe and is starting to run him down as Briscoe gets caught up in lap traffic. And Hubba Bubba is in the mix and got past his boss for second. Lil Bow Wow comes down to pit road and next to join as Briscoe. Several more then join in later. Blaney and Elliott are next to come down to pit road, and pit road has become busy. Yeah, I thought it was Cindric, but no, Cindric is racing with a discount tire paint scheme. It was Blaney. As expected, more drivers, including Hamlin, come in under green. Nematode is now leading. That's John R. Nemechek's nickname, if you haven't known already. SVG is next to come down to pit road, and next to join in is Brad K. Chase Briscoe just got past Nematode. Wait, what? So far, not much is going on. Nematode then comes down to pit road. Lil Bow Wow makes a pit stop, and he has issues on pit road. Reddick and Free Willy are next to come down to pit road, and Logano is seen making a pit stop. Briscoe also decides to make another pit stop, and the second green flag pit stop cycle continues. And Hubba Bubba comes in. Zane Smith also got in the way and had to wait until Hubba Bubba, yeah, Bubba Wallace, left. Blaney also decided to make his pit stop. Even with 5 to go, in the first stage, Briscoe continues to lead. Reddick just jumped up to second, and just like that, Briscoe wins the first stage of the 2025 Saturn 500. But anyways, our first race off pit road begins, and Briscoe wins the race off pit road. The second stage begins with Hamlin and Briscoe battling for the lead. Hamlin got the lead while Briscoe had to defend second after he got loose. And then contact ensues with Chase Elliott and Carson Hocevar. Seriously, it always has to be Carson Hocevar. Briscoe is not going away. Briscoe gets the lead back. Lil Bow Wow makes another pit stop. Hamlin is starting to have issues with his clutch. Dang it! Even worse is the fact that he started falling behind. Chastain just got past Hamlin, and the caution just came out as who else? Caution Hocevar got loose and lost control. What a big surprise, am I right? It always has to be Carson Hocevar involved in the caution, that's why he's called Caution Hocevar. Several drivers come down to pit road during caution, and Hamlin has issues on pit road. Dang it! To make matters worse, Taco Bell gets involved with Hocevar. Jeez! But anyways, the caution ends with Briscoe and Chastain battling for the lead. Holy crapper! This is getting exciting. Briscoe managed to pull away, but Chastain is trying to hold off Eric Jones. SVG and Blaney battle for 19th. Logano and Bell battle for 14th. Earlier in the race, Free Willy had to go back to pit road to get the wheel tightened. Smart move. Ah, crap. Logano got past Taco Bell for 14th. Ugh. And then all of a sudden, Briscoe's having alternator issues. Blaney and Larson come down to pit road. Several more join in as expected. Briscoe is next to come down to pit road, and more drivers then come in. With 37 to go on the second stage, Bell and Cindric make their pit stops. Elliott is now in the lead until he too pits in. And another caution just came out as Cody Ware blew not one, but 2 tires. He gets taken out by Priest. Yeah, keep in mind, Rick Ware Racing is affiliated with Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, and that's not a good look for them. Several drivers come down to pit road during caution. But anyways, the caution ends with Briscoe continuing to lead thanks to a push by Eric Jones, and an intense battle goes underway. Well, then the caution just came out. Ryan Blaney loses control, and he also blew a tire. Dang it! But anyways, the caution ends with Briscoe and Reddick continuing to battle for the lead, and Briscoe manages to pull away from it. And just like that, Briscoe wins the second stage of the 2025 Southern 500. Yeah, Disco Briscoe just keeps dominating. Our next race off pit road begins, and Chase Briscoe wins the race off pit road. But anyways, the third and final stage begins with Reddick jumping to the lead, and his teammate Hubba Bubba is in third. Holy crapper, Reddick is back in the mix. Briscoe gets the lead back. Yeah, like Disco Briscoe isn't going to slow down, man, because Disco can never die. Get? Meanwhile, Logano is trying to hold off Hocevar. Hocevar gets past Logano, and Free Willy also got past him. Yeah, William Byron, by the way. Larson gets loose, and Priest just got past him for 8th. Briscoe's lead gap starts to shrink, but he does try to maintain it. On lap 270, Briscoe's lead gap is just down to barely a second. Logano comes down to pit road, and several more also join in. Reddick and Briscoe also join in. Chastain is now leading. Bushy and Chastain are next to join in alongside 3 others. Chastain gives up the lead to Hamlin until he too makes a pit stop. Buescher gets into the wall and battles 7th with Chastain. AJ and Chastain battle for 6th. That's AJ Allmendinger, by the way. Chase Elliott is trying to unlap himself while Briscoe has to deal with Tyler Reddick, who is charging ahead. Derek Kraus starts catching fire, and this could cause a caution. Holy crapper, the tides have turned. Yeah, like, I was hoping that Reddick would get past Briscoe for this one. Like, I was not too mad about this caution because I wanted it to affect the outcome of the race, and I wanted Reddick to win. Because I'm always rooting for Reddick more than Briscoe. Blaney pits in right before the caution begins, and several drivers pit under caution. Yeah, that's a thing with Penske. Like, they did the same exact thing in one of the Iowa races with Joseph Newgarden having to pit in right before a caution would start. And that move was pretty costly, by the way. Briscoe, once again, wins the race off pit road. But anyways, the caution ends with Reddick and Briscoe battling for the lead. Holy crapper! Hamlin's in the top 10. He even has to hold off Busch. Chastain holds off Hocevar, and I'm glad he hasn't crashed out. Well, I'm glad he hasn't been crashed out by him, is what I went to say. Taco Bell comes out to pit road. Suarez gets past both Reddick and Briscoe, even though he's a couple of laps down. And after Briscoe's lead gap is cut down to 0.3 seconds, Reddick gets closer and closer, and Briscoe gets loose, and Eric Jones is in the mix. Yeah, I was dead silent when that happened. Like, I had nothing to say. Like, I was just hyper-focused on this very part because it's when the race got crazy. And even my mom was like, well, how can you be quiet? Like, jeez. It's like, my mind is on a blank. Eric Jones attempted to get past Reddick, but isn't able to do it. Briscoe gets loose again. With 3 laps to go, the battle continues. And Reddick tried to get past him, but wasn't able to do so. I so wanted Reddick to win, but still gets a 9 out of 10 no matter what. Yeah, this race proves that NASCAR doesn't need more horsepower to allow for passing. They just need DRS, a drag reduction system, because horsepower creates inertia. I am going to have to make a whole video dedicated to this topic because I'm sick and tired of this statement. More horsepower equals better racing, even though it's BS. But anyways, here's the Xfinity Portland race, as I had to fit in that. Greetings, NASCAR enjoyers, and this might be the final Xfinity Series race at Portland. Harrison Burton had to go to the back for unapproved adjustments. Dang it! Also, more drivers had to go to the rear. But anyways, the final Xfinity Series race at Portland begins with CZ jumping to the lead as usual. Yeah, he's pretty good on road courses. Justin Allgaier is also right on his tail, but not for long. Meanwhile, Sheldon Creed jumps up to 12th. So far, not much is going on. Brandon Jones is battling Jack Perkins for 9th. Also, like Will Brown and Shane Van Gisbergen, Jack Perkins is also a guy who ran the V8 Supercars Championship. Brandon Jones overtakes Jack Perkins for 9th. Nick Sanchez is moved for the field and currently running in 18th. Sawalich went into the grass. I'm glad he didn't cause a caution. He was safe. Zilich now has an 8-second lead gap, DT is a bit slow in one of the corners and he has issues with his car. Phew. So close. Meanwhile, Austin Hill is right behind Justin Allgaier. Salas went into the grass. Even on lap 16, Zilich just keeps getting faster and faster. Oh, come on! Austin Hill just got past Justin Allgaier. You had one job, Allgaier. One job. Keep Austin Hill behind and make sure he doesn't interfere with the race. It doesn't matter, as not even he could stop Zilich from dominating. And DT loses control, but no caution is thrown as he made it. Zilich starts catching up to lap traffic. Just like that, Zilich dominated the first stage of the final Xfinity Series race at Portland, just when DiBurrito came to a stop. Even with a sudden caution, CZ still wins the first stage. Also, DiBurrito has taken off his shoes. Now, this is surreal. The AMR safety crews had to get him to the truck. Well, get him to the truck is what I meant to say. Just hope he's fine, because I honestly feel bad for him trying to burn his foot when his car was on fire. Yeah, that was a bad situation, man. It was pretty bad. But anyways, this is the only Xfinity Series race where controlled pit stops are a thing, and that means that there will be no race off pit road. It's a similar pit procedure to Lime Rock. The second stage begins with Zilich and Hill battling for the lead. Hill tried to get past him, but failed to do so. Yeah, never mess with road course specialist Austin Hill, especially when it comes to Connor Zilich, who races around in Miatas. Yeah, he raced around in Miatas before he went to NASCAR. Allgaier was battling Hill for second, and Harrison Burton just spun out, but no caution is thrown as he is safe. Jesse Love just got some damage done to his car, and Harrison Burton also lost control again. Sean Creed gets into the grass when he attempted to pass Jesse Love. The reason why Jesse Love damaged his car is because of contact with him and William Sawalich. Jack Perkins also slammed the door on Sheldon Creed when he attempted to get past Jesse Love. Nick Sanchez also missed the corner. I'm just glad that nothing is going to affect Zilich's lead gap. Sanchez gets past Jesse Love for 12th. Even Eckes managed to get past Jesse Love earlier in the race. DT got into the grass and managed to get to the access road. Phew. Brandon Jones and Carson Kvapil battled for 8th. Thomas Anziata had issues with his car and had to go to the pits. There was even a small fire on the grass. Just hope it doesn't affect the outcome of the race. Jeremy Clements gets to the grass. Also, the fire hasn't affected the outcome of the race at all. Good. Good. Phew. Kyle Sieg just got into the grass. Another one. And the safety crew was hosed down the fire, and no need for a caution. Phew. Thank you for saving us. Always respect the safety crews, as they are important to help keep the track safe. Jack Perkins gets into the mix, and Carson Kvapil gets past the two and holds off Jack Perkins. Holy crapper, that was impressive! And just like that, Zilich wins second stage of Portland, proving that once again, he's unstoppable. But anyways, after we get another set of controlled pit stops, the third and final stage begins with Zilich jumping to the lead and Allgaier attempts to get past Hill. Holy crapper, this just got intense. Zilich manages to hang on to the lead. Jack Perkins battles Creed for 8th. Gray is currently running in 13th. Will Brown is also out of the race. Dang. So much for one of the two closest rivals to Zilich. Creed blows a tire while Anziata gets into the grass, and Alfredo comes to a stop and causes the first non-stage caution of the day. Dang it! We also get an interview with Austin Hill's crew chief during the caution, but anyways. A few drivers pitted in, and the caution ends with Austin Hill getting pushed to the lead and Zilich got damage done to his car after he overshot the corner, and several drivers lose control, but no caution is thrown. Perkins just jumped up to third until he got into the grass and was not able to get his car refired. Thankfully, the caution just came out. Saved by the caution again. Yeah, sometimes I like the cautions and sometimes I dislike the cautions, because I don't want Austin Hill to win. I want Zilich to win, man. Hopefully, Zilich will get past Hill after the race restarts. With just 2 to go, the race gets into the green-white checkered phase, and it restarts with Zilich getting to the lead. And more calamity ensues. Of course, there had to be contact with Hill and Zilich, but Zilich still maintains the lead, even with him having to avoid the chaos. In the final lap, Zilich takes home an epic win at the final NASCAR Xfinity Series race in Portland. In my opinion, the race really got exciting in the end. This is the main reason why it got a 9 out of 10. He nearly led all laps, but in the end, he still managed to get the win. I still wonder why Trackhouse Racing wanted him to go over to the Cup Series. But anyways, here's the link to last year's Portland race and the Sauber 500 if you want to watch it. And you know the drill by now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case I haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out.